Recently we've answered if Neo would be blind in Matrix 4, what Seraph's golden code means, and what if Smith had assimilated the architect. There is certainly no shortage of questions about the Matrix. We have received nearly hundreds of them in the comments, and today we will be answering more of them. Today we will be answering, why did the architect's room explode behind Neo? How do people realize that they are in the Matrix? And what if Neo has a child in Matrix 4? Welcome to Matrix Explained.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
Our first question comes from username number 1 Supa. Why did the building where Neo met the architect explode after he left? The movie script describes that after Neo left the architect's room, there is a flash of light, and the architect turns his gaze back to the monitors. He goes back to work. But of course, this doesn't happen in the movie.
If I were you, I would hope that we don't meet again.
We won't.
After Neo chooses the door that leads him to Trinity, he flies out of the room with a massive explosion behind him. The explosion makes it clear that Neo has lost access to the architect's room. After Neo made his choice, the program destroyed the passageway connecting his room to the Matrix. But remember, the architect was never inside that building. When Neo opened the door, he was absorbed in bright light. That light becomes one star among hundreds in the sky, and then the starlit sky is seen in the architect's TV screens. Neo was now in the presence of the father of the Matrix. Therefore, the architect is in a place beyond the Matrix, perhaps within another construct, or maybe in the machine mainframe itself. After Neo left, the architect destroyed the building to protect himself from the anomaly, or anyone else who might be a threat to him. Our next question comes from user No Name. How do the sleep ones, people who aren't awake, realize that there are prisoners inside the Matrix? The post continues, and I quote, "For example, to understand you are in a dream, getting lucid, the basic is reality check. In a dream there is no solidity, so by trying to pass a concrete wall, you might be able to, which then gives you the realization that something is not right. Look for the movie Inception." In other words, what kind of signs there are for people intentionally, unintentionally from the creator, architect, to people to wake up, or even what kind of signs available in general to people to look for. End quote. But to answer this person's question, there are many ways in which a person can realize that they're in a simulation. When the Oracle added the ability of choice to the Matrix, she gave the people the option to choose whether or not to stay in the simulation, though they do not realize it.
As I was saying, she stumbled upon a solution whereby nearly 99% of all test subjects accepted the program as long as they were given a choice, even if they were only aware of the choice at a near unconscious level.
This often goes unnoticed, but what the architect meant is that everyone may suspect that their reality is not real, but they unconsciously choose to remain ignorant and stay inside the Matrix. There are many Matrix comic books with stories of humans realizing the facade that is their reality. Farewell Performance tells the story of an investigative journalist researching a magician and trying to figure out why people feel like they are prisoners, bound with invisible chains. Artistic Freedom is about an artist who saw sentinels in her nightmares and made sculptures of them. Her pieces were placed on display at an art gallery, and every person who saw them got sick with fear without understanding why. That fear and panic meant that the people unconsciously knew what the sentinels were. While most people either forget or choose to ignore their nightmares, some choose to investigate them, and those investigations will eventually lead them to the question, what is the Matrix?
What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life, that there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there.
In the Animatrix, there are many scenes of humans noticing something off about the world, like a lady noticing an error or glitch in reality while watching some children play. An athlete managed to escape the Matrix by breaking a speed record, and a child running in the snow towards his parents, and for a second, he sees them as agents. Another reason why humans can notice the Matrix is a more symbolic, or philosophical one. People realize the existence of the Matrix when reality itself doesn't make sense. On a psychological level, they feel that everything that happens in the world is being programmed by someone. Therefore, we can simplify the factors of awakening from the Matrix to personal reflections and/or accidental external events such as déjà vu. In Neo's case, it was thanks to his personal internal reflection that led him to seek information about the Matrix, which made his awakening from the simulation less traumatic. And our last question comes from Nathaniel Arias. Will we ever see Trinity and Neo's child? This is one of the oldest theories in the Matrix universe. According to some, Trinity possibly became pregnant after her lust scene with Neo in Matrix Reloaded. Matrix Reloaded and Revolutions is one continuous story divided into 2 movies, as in 3 begins immediately after 2. Currently, there are no rumors that could lead to the possible appearance of Neo and Trinity's offspring in Matrix 4, unless the machines recovered her dead body, revived her, and the fertilization. But that does not mean that it is impossible. It would be interesting to see the story about the child of the one who was captured and raised by the machines, and Neo and Trinity rescuing them. Imagine the possibility that this child is the true savior of humanity, and he or she is the one who must rescue Neo and Trinity. It's indeed an interesting concept and an easy justification for the return of our favorite characters. However, it is highly unlikely. It's too much of a cliche, and as we know, Lily Wachowski likes to experiment with unpredictable ideas in her movies. But do you agree? Did Neo and Trinity have a child, and will we see this child in Matrix 4? Why did the architect destroy the building that connects him to the Matrix? Let us know in the comments what other questions you would like us to answer. Before we go, we would like to thank all of our current and new members of the channel, all of you who have supported our videos and helped make it possible for us to continue to create new content daily about this incredible film universe. If you would like to become a member and support our channel, just click on the join button next to the subscribe button. Being a member grants you exclusive emotes and badges for the premieres, with new soon-to-be announced perks for all members. For Matrix Explained, please leave a like and subscribe. And thank you for visiting the Desert of the Real.